Alright, here's one for the wiring and the devices. Put a little light on the stomach here. Relay under there, that's for the shifter. Okay, everything works off that. The data logger, everything starts off that relay. Okay, over here, that relay turns on the trans brake, turns off the nitrous. This relay operates the nitrous. So one has to talk to the other. It took me a few minutes to figure that one out. Sometimes I'm not much of a genius. Okay, these are all my terminal blocks. Like I said in an earlier video, this stuff just pulls off. You can test it, you put it back on. Keeps it clean. All three are the same. It works lights, fuel pumps. Most of this stuff is all easily color coded, so it's very easy to find. Battery switch. Now this was a box the customer had in the truck. This box is watertight. It'll keep everything clean. Okay. When I charge the battery, because on this one I opted to run the battery straight, MSD straight to the battery. I thought I was having a voltage problem. Okay. That is the best way to run it. Same thing if you run an ECU. You run it right to the battery. Not to switches, not to, this switch or the other switch, right to the battery. This way it holds memory. But when I charge them, okay, like I'm doing now, I'll disconnect the main two leads here. Okay, let's see here. You can see the line, you can see the disconnect here, and you can see the other lead here. This way it doesn't spike the MSD. MSD it's so suspect to be spiked on any amount of voltage. The biggest problem is when you're charging them and you go to start it, you hit them with the charger and the charger puts out 18 volts, 18.5 volts, and it just smacks the thing and it causes it to short out. So if you can, be very careful with the battery charging. Okay, that's a great big new excess battery we put in it. Customer bought it, Aaron bought it. It really works very well. The other one's dead. From my experience, if you get a year and a half, maybe 2 years if you've taken care of it, that's all you're going to get out of these batteries. 16 volts just don't seem to live. I've heard of people getting 3 and 4, but I guess you're using it a lot and you're taking very good care of your battery. Okay? Most everything is in loom. This one I opted not to loom because there was so many different colors I wanted to be able to track here, especially down to the shifter, neutral safety switch. Okay. RPM activates the shifter itself, so the 1-2 is automatic. There is the, let me see something here. See it. There is the oil pressure light. Most guys put that sender on the gauge in the car. That's wrong. It's only wrong for it'll work, but you're better off on the block, because the problem is the oil line in this thing goes from here to there, and this one's only about 3 feet. But you lose oil pressure at the block long before you lose it over here at the gauge. So just to be safe, you run it on the block. It sees oil pressure loss instantly because it's right in the port. Okay? Purge, tucked it away, feeds through the feed. I use bulkheads on that stuff. Nitrous is done. Wired. Fuel pump. Fuel pump has 2 breakouts in it. When I show you this live tomorrow running, you got to disconnect one or the other. Usually I just disconnect the power feed for 2 reasons. The power feed I'll use to power up the light, and then once you break it out, you can turn the retarder on or hit the nitrous and see the retarder operate live. This way you double check your wiring, you double check what you actually put in the box for a retard. Yeah, it's probably going to work fine, but you know what? If you do this and disconnect one or both of those and then go down here and look at the light down the bottom, you'll actually see it functioning and double check all your work. It just saves so much grief because you know it works live and you know you don't have any issues. Pretty much on this side, same thing. Wind up remounting the oil filter housing, the oil filter adapter. Wind up redoing the, sorry about that, redoing the blow off. That thing is worth every penny. Anytime the thing sneezes, that'll just pop real quickly and seal back on its O-ring. On this side, pretty straightforward. The only thing, you know, is there's the knife switch for the nitrous. You see it, there you go. It's right by his knee. This way, if there's any problems, you can disconnect it very quickly. Then the other thing I added, just let me get a good picture of it. I put a roller on it. You can see it there. This is the roller I used to operate the nitrous. If it's inside and run inside this, I don't have any issues with dirt, water. There is a little weep hole in the bottom I put it just in case he gets some kind of water in it. What's nice about that one, let's see if I could zoom in. That wheel is fully adjustable. I can change how much delay I want on it based on where I adjust the wheel. Honestly, it almost doesn't matter because by the time you smack the throttle, it's wide open anyway. I usually just put a little lead in it just in case he flexes, bends, moves the throttle. It doesn't fall, it doesn't miss the nitrous. After that, the stuff I was trying to show you before, switch panel, and then the panel I made. The red is the oil light, blue is the nitrous light. There's your bang button, there's your purge button. I'm just an old timer and I like the NOS blue button for the purge, just what I got used to. And I went with this button for the bang, only for one reason: it's watertight. It's actually a starter button, to be honest. Oil light up, I like them up high, right in your eyes. This way, if anything happens, you're going to see it right away. Okay? If you have any questions, please feel free to give me a call. This is all wired and done. Okay? I'll come around the back. Second battery switch here. And there's the fan.